Welcome everyone to the Great Plains Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. My name is Lucy and we are so excited to have you here for this event. We have some fantastic schools with us this evening. And before we get started, just a few housekeeping announcements. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A feature to type your questions to our presenters at any time. If it's specific to whichever university, just make sure that you mention which university your question is for. This is the final session for this evening, but there's plenty more that have happened today. So please be sure to check out the recordings. You'll be able to see that at strivescan.com/GPACAC. Now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design.
Hi, 1 second, share my screen. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Juliette Obrill. I'm an admissions outreach counselor lead with Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design. I'm sorry if it's a little loud. I'm actually in an RV, maybe in your neighborhood. I'm in the Great Plains area of Nebraska. And so if you're artistically inclined, an education at Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design will help bring your creativity to life. REMCAD is the premier art and design college that's located in the Mountain West region outside of downtown Denver, Colorado. And we go by REMCAD for short. Creative minds take root here for the relentless student support, innovation in both teaching and mentoring, and listed are REMCAD's offerings of Bachelor's of Fine Art degrees. One of the accrediting bodies that hold us to a high degree of accountability and standards of academic excellence is the National Association School of Art and Design, also known as NASAD. Are you a storyteller? Because a lot of storytelling goes on around here, both virtually and like in game art design, and also in real world applications such as an interior design. During the admissions interview, you can tell us your story, and we will tell you more about the REMCAD programs that interest you, more about your housing options and financial services also. If it's a good fit, details of portfolio submission and other requirements are explained. Because at REMCAD, we do require a portfolio submission, but don't get too nervous. It is supposed to be filled with your original artwork. We understand that you're in the student learning process, and we could certainly help go through some of the details of what's expected. You can scan this barcode now with your phone if you feel like you might want to learn more about portfolio development with me. I'm hosting an event on October 7th called True to Your Roots, and it's all about creating your artistic voice and vision to really be genuine and authentic to what you want to say in the world. So while you're at REMCAD, we have lots of resources and clubs that are available, and some of these services are open to the public. Career and alumni services, students and alum have access to our exclusive job board, which includes internships, professional development workshops, videos, and career advising, all geared toward assisting the individual to find the job of their dream. Furthermore, the REMCAD Renew program allows alumni to take classes in their degree at no cost to keep up with the changes in the creative industries, which is pretty great. And when you look a little bit closer at the student resources, the Learning Commons is our hub of academic support. If you run low on food or need an art supply, the Mine has your back. Student services are the experts who take the stress out of schedules and payments, and our online management system will provide the classroom right at your fingertips for online learning. Tech Bar is your technology support needs, and you could find branded sweatshirts, art supplies, and software logins, such as software login information in our art store called Spectrum. A complimentary subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud and other industry standard tools and professional development tools are provided to help students succeed, including a lifetime remcad.edu email address for online discounts. And I do want to mention the integral values of DEI guide our academic and institutional development, serving our mission to prepare learners to be forces of change in the industries, communities, and the world. DEI also hosts a club that you can join as a REMCAD student called IDEA, which stands for Inclusion, Equity, Diversity, and Alliance, and an online toolkit for the community. REMCAD Health and Wellness Center is available to help take care of you. Let's be real, you may encounter some challenges that may affect your academic and personal progress during your time at college. Counseling services are available to all students. It's confidential, it's personalized, and free of charge. In addition, the SAS is accommodating all learners, equal access and participation. REMCAD tuition is about $22K per year, depending on your modality, if it's online or on campus. There is no deadline to enroll. However, there are deadlines on some scholarships, and those roll around January. So think about winter break. While you're thinking about winter break, we are hosting a virtual open house on December 9th. Please join us then. You can meet some of the program chairs, hear a little bit more about the programs that you're interested in. And you can also get connected with us sooner than that by scanning this barcode here on the left. This is how you can request information with me. And then if you are ready to apply, you can go to remcad.edu to fill out an application. It is free to apply right now. And I will note, no standardized tests are needed, but again, we do need that portfolio. So if you have any questions about a portfolio, it's better to start talking sooner than later. Please connect with us. My email is listed here. I'm jobrill@remcad.edu. You could find us on Instagram, lots of amazing examples of student work there. Follow us there. Check us out on the website. And I want to thank you guys for your attention. I really hope that we could be part of your significant accomplishment of earning a bachelor's of fine art. And if it's in art and design, all the more power to you, because we need more creative people in this world. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from Pacific University, Oregon.
Perfect. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Derek, and I get to share a little bit about Pacific University with you this afternoon. We are a small private school located out here in Oregon, as our name implies, and we're located just a little bit west of Portland, Oregon. So coming from the Midwest, you get to work with me as I'm your admissions counselor here, and you'll be flying into Portland International Airport and traveling just a little bit further west. The great thing with where we're located is you're only about an hour from everything. So within an hour, you can be sitting on the Oregon coast, skiing on Mount Hood, 30 minutes from downtown, or being next to places like Nike, Intel, Xerox, and Columbia, which are right next door to our campus, and allow our students a lot of really amazing access. So we call it your home base, where you get to spend time on campus, but be able to explore those amazing things that set Oregon apart, like this beautiful background behind me. We also know you're going to school to get a degree. So at Pacific, we offer over 75 different majors, minors, and programs, as well as 30 and more graduate programs in the health professions, business, and education. So we're going to be able to give you a really strong education. And the amazing thing with Pacific is you're not applying to a specific school or a specific college. Instead, you're applying to Pacific as a whole. And all of our students are treated as if they're in an honors college. There's no extra applications for anything. You're applying to Pacific, and from there, you get to choose your path within those 75 different majors, minors, and programs. We're best known for our pre-health professions tracks, our business program, and our nationally and regionally ranked education and creative writing programs. So you really will find a little bit of everything. We have about 1,900 undergraduate students on our 54-acre campus. You're going to have that small school size where you're going to know your professors. You can't hide in the back of our classrooms with an average class size of only 19. And most importantly, for all of our students at Pacific University, you will be graduating in 4 years. There's no 5th year, 6 years, or victory laps, but that we have a guarantee to our students that you'll be in and out in 4 years. And that's for all those programs that we talked about. We also want you to have something to back that up. So what that means is actually being able to start your job shadowing, research, and internships freshman and sophomore year, not waiting till you're a junior or senior when it might be too late. We want you to try those things out as early as possible. And being the top private research university in the Pacific Northwest offers up a huge opportunity for our students to be able to get out, try these things really early on, whether that's teaching in a classroom, doing research for somewhere like Nike, or doing your business internship at Intel. It gives you a huge opportunity to build not just your degree, but your resume while you're here at Pacific. And while you're here, we do want you to enjoy your time. We want you to be involved. In fact, our average student at Pacific University is involved in 3 clubs or sports that have nothing to do with what they're studying. And we have a huge variety of options from our 70 different clubs and organizations, ranging from student government to different academic clubs, all the way over to our Hawaii club, who puts on the largest annual luau anywhere in the mainland US, happens at Forest Grove. And you can actually join the Hawaii club and learn to dance with your friends on stage. Maybe that also might mean performing arts, where you don't need to major or minor, but you can join in our musical groups, our theater groups, and our dance groups, or joining one of our athletic groups, whether that's our 24 varsity sports, 20 intramural, or 10 club sports. There's going to be a lot for you to do. And we like our students to be able to do a little bit of each, not have to pick just one thing to do while they're at Pacific. We also want you to take that degree and go outside of your classroom, whether that's exploring the Pacific Northwest through our Outdoor Pursuits office, studying abroad in over 27 sites around the world, or doing community service both here, internationally, or locally in the area. We want you to take what you're learning in the classroom to go out and solve real world problems and build on that education that you're getting here at Pacific. We also want to make sure that it's affordable for you. So we offer a huge amount of scholarship to all of our applying students. We are free on the Common Application, and you can start applying now. We have an early action deadline in November, but you're able to build on that as a student here. You can start with your academic merit scholarship that range from $15,000 to $27,000 per year for all 4 years and are based on your academics. We are test optional. You do not need to send in test scores. It will not impact your scholarships going down in any way, shape, or form for turning those or not turning those in, but they do give us a piece of an idea of what your application looks like. We also have additional scholarships for things like music, dance, theater, speech and debate, mathematics, robotics, and over 27 different areas included in there. And on top of that, we do also offer the opportunity, since I know you'd be coming from a little bit further away, to come out, visit campus, and interact, whether that's in person or virtually. So if you're a senior right now and you're looking at coming to Pacific or want to learn a little bit more, you'll be able to get my contact information here in just a second. But I also encourage you to check out these senior preview scholarship days, where you get to either come out to campus, again, fly into Portland, come out and visit and learn more about all those different programs we have, or you're able to do it virtually. So these are every Friday now through the end of December, and a few Saturdays where they're virtual as well. And just for not only learning about our school, getting a little bit more information, and it takes a little bit longer than 6 minutes, so you get a little bit more in depth, but you also earn a $1,000 a year scholarship for all 4 years you're here at Pacific on top of everything else we talked about. You do not need to be admitted to attend. Again, you can come out and visit us, or you can do that online. And as your admissions counselor, I'm going to be your point of contact. Feel free to reach out with lots of questions you might have, whether that's anything from what's it like to be a student on campus, how do I get to campus, or what's it like coming from out of state. I'm not only your admissions counselor and the one reading your application, but I'm also a Pacific alum myself and came from a small town in the middle of Montana. So I can talk to you about that destination and that kind of transition you're going to be going through. So with that, I really appreciate all of you taking a little bit of time to learn more about Pacific. I'll drop my contact information into the chat as well, and look forward to hearing from you in the future. Go Boxers.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from St. Louis University.
All right, one moment as I share my screen. All right, hello everyone. My name is Lainey Arnold. I use she, her pronouns. I am one of the admission counselors at St. Louis University. I work specifically with all of the students from the state of Nebraska. My colleague Jennifer works with students from Kansas, and my colleague Rich works with students from Oklahoma. And I can say on behalf of all of us, we're happy to have you here. We'll start with some fast facts to kind of get our bearings, talk about St. Louis University a little bit. So when we first think about SLU, which is what we call it, we think about the size. We are a medium-sized Jesuit school. So we'll start with medium for us is about 8,000 undergraduate students, about 12,500 when you include our master's degrees seeking students, law students, medical school. We do actually have 2 campuses. The first one is quite obviously in St. Louis, Missouri. I myself am from the Pacific Northwest. I'm actually from Portland, Oregon. So that was cool to have Pacific go first. But St. Louis is our home. We love it here. And we also have a sister campus in Madrid, Spain that we like to call SLU Madrid. We typically send between 200 to 300 students to SLU Madrid each semester for study abroad. About 80% of our students at SLU study abroad. And we are a Catholic Jesuit university. So we'll circle in a little bit more about that because Jesuit education is a beast unto itself. If you're not familiar, Jesuit education was founded in Italy and it continues today at over 50 US high schools and 27 Jesuit universities. Of those 27, SLU is consistently ranked in the top 5. So we are very proud of the students and the community that we have here. I say we have the best of the best. When we think about Jesuit education, one of the big things that we talk about the most often is this concept called cura personalis. It means care for the whole person. So we're really trying to meet all of our students where they are academically, spiritually, socially, help you grow into the best version of yourself. The Jesuits are also very known for their commitment to service and social justice. So if you are a student that is constantly asking yourself, how have I been blessed in life and how can I leverage that to help another person, you would be in really good company here. And while we are a Catholic institution, we are home to students of all faiths and non-faiths. What's important here is that this is a place that you can really explore if you would like to. Academically, we have nearly 90 undergraduate programs and a ton of different minors and concentrations. I describe SLU students as "and" students. So you would be hard pressed to find a student that only has one academic interest. So you name it, we have a College of Engineering, a College of Nursing, College of Business, Education, Public Health and Social Justice. You name it, we probably have it. So I would direct you to the website to check out some of the options. Some of the academic areas that I think SLU really shines are within the pre-professional health. So physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, pre-med, all of those areas, engineering, and then business. Those are some of the big powerhouses that we really have. Now, thinking about life outside of the classroom, whatever you want to be doing at SLU, you can do. I think that's what all colleges say, but I really do know that it's true for us. So if you want to get involved in a club sport, if you are an athlete and you want to be Division I, then you can start talking to the coaches. Typically, students are recruited onto our 18 Division I athletics teams. However, shoot your shot. You can get involved in the radio station. One of my favorite clubs on campus is called the Slunatics. There are a bunch of students that show up to all of the sporting events and arts events with a lot of school spirit. So if you want a way to get involved, you can definitely find it. Our application is available. I highly recommend using the Common Application. We'll get your transcript from your high school. If you're an international student that has not done all 4 years at a US high school, we will require you to demonstrate English proficiency. We recommend things like 2 letters of recommendation, sending a resume, and doing an admission interview with your admission counselor. Most of those are happening virtually this year, so you can get in touch with your counselor. And then if you want to send us your ACT or SAT scores, great, we'll look at them. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. The quick kind of litmus test for you is, do you love your score? Send it. If you either don't have a score or don't feel like your score reflects your work as a student, and you feel like that's better reflected on your transcript, then you don't need to send us a score. Either pathway, you will still be considered for merit-based scholarships, which range between $4,000 and $25,000 each academic year. When you are applying, you will have to choose an admission pathway. This is a really exciting change for us. This is our first year doing early decision, early action, and regular decision. You can see some of the details on the screen. Early decision is a binding application. So this is perfect for students that are 1000% certain that SLU is the right school for them. Most of our students are going to apply through this early action pathway. So the deadline is December 1st. You'll receive your notification by February 1st, but you're not bound to that decision. If you're admitted, you can still pursue other options. And regular decision is geared towards students where one more semester of official grades on your transcript would help you put your best foot forward. So again, you can definitely be reaching out to your admission counselor to help decide what pathway is the right fit for you. You can find all of our contact info on the website. Just go to slu.edu and in the search bar, type in admission counselors. And that is all I have. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from McPherson College.
Good afternoon. My name is Dane Pavlovich. I am the Director of Recruiting at McPherson College, and I'm excited to be with you all today. I am representing probably the smallest institution here on this particular chat, but we think we have very big time opportunities here at McPherson. Just so you know, McPherson's located right in the middle of Kansas, in between Salina and Wichita, 50 miles north of Wichita. Our community is about 13,000. One of the top 100 small towns to live at in the United States. Some fast facts about McPherson. Our mission is to develop whole person scholarship participation and service. At the bottom right-hand corner, you see the M logo with 3 pillars off to the side. Those represent scholarship participation and service. We're fortunate at McPherson. We have over 800 students, about 825 students this year. And we have had back-to-back the largest incoming classes in the history of the college. 16 athletic teams, 30 plus clubs and organizations, and quite a few Bulldogs on campus. Just some important highlights about McPherson. 2/3 of our 2020 class secured a job prior to graduation, 3 times the national average. 98% of our students earned jobs within 6 months of graduation. 100% of our students who applied to grad school gained admission, and a couple of really amazing opportunities. We have a brand new student health center on campus, revamped health science and healthcare management majors with $25,000 per year scholarships, as well as our Bulldog Adventures program, which provides opportunities for our students to get out and explore Kansas. Some interesting things about the Bulldog Adventure program. We do hiking, boating, camping, fishing experiences once a month, completely free. And we also have a build your own adventure program. Our director of adventure programming will help you plan some travels, maybe secure some free gear reservations that we have for our students. I like to say you can check out a tent at McPherson just like you check out a library book and go out and explore all that Kansas has to offer. We have those health science majors. These are for students who are looking at all the different careers that might come up in healthcare, including physical therapy, maybe getting into hospital administration, clinic management, lots of different things, behavioral health, public health, community health, and lots of different things that come in there. And again, we have $25,000 scholarships for students who will commit to some signature outreach that goes along with the program, but also a lot of exploring with guaranteed internships in that program. We have 30 plus majors, including the nation's only 4-year degree offering program in automotive restoration. We have about 140 students in that program, and lots of the majors that are listed on the left-hand side of your screen have additional scholarship money. We call those pillar scholarships. $8,000 are our academic scholarships. They go all the way up to 16, and then our pillar scholarships can add another $2,000 to about $8,000 per year. Talking a little bit more about scholarships, we have something at McPherson called the Student Debt Project. We are very interested in how students go through their college experience and hopefully eliminating or reducing their amount of debt. 2 of our students featured here, Jake and Jared Curtis, yes, they are twins. They are going to graduate with a degree at McPherson College with no debt. Here's how the program works. Basically, we look to combine financial literacy, jobs, and mentorships to create that pathway for students. And we're seeing that students on average are reducing their average amount of debt by about $10,000 per year. First of all, students get jobs, and even jobs prior to attending McPherson, starting with graduation after your senior year. If you get a job and all the money that you contribute, for every dollar that you contribute, we contribute a quarter. So I like to say if students are willing to invest in us, we are willing to invest in them, and that process continues throughout your 4 years at McPherson. You can earn a job on campus, get a job off campus, and for every dollar that you earn and contribute, we contribute a quarter. We also provide all of our students mentors. So our students will have someone kind of in their corner that are able to help them through balancing athletics, student life, their job, their academics, all those things that students will experience at McPherson. Those mentors will be right there in their corner. And then also financial literacy education. Students required to participate in a 1-hour workshop where we address personal finance, budgeting, building a resume, looping in career services to make sure our students have the best opportunity to graduate with reduced debt or even debt-free. Kind of an example, some information about our tuition. If you subtract scholarships, use some state and federal money, and then the matching aid is listed there from a student and their employment, and actually would have a surplus for that particular student. I mentioned career services. Our graduates certainly do a good job once they finish up their degree at McPherson College. 2/3 of our graduates have jobs prior to graduation. Our career services regularly does mock interviews, looking at resumes, etiquette dinners, all the things that you need to secure an internship for that job right after college. We show up in quite a few U.S. News and World Report best colleges regional rankings in the Midwest, most innovative, best values, and top performers on social mobility. Our application is free at www.mcpherson.edu. I'd love to have that application. We are test optional, as all the other schools have been thus far. And we would love to have any opportunities for questions. I'll drop my contact information in the chat. But it's a pleasure talking to you from the smallest school amongst the 6 here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, we will hear from Butler University.
All right. Sorry, 1 second here. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. I know that everyone's schedules are very busy this time of year, so each of us appreciate you spending some of your evening with us. My name is Chris Potts, and I'm Associate Director of Admission at Butler University. I'm also a double Butler graduate. I earned my bachelor's and my master's degree both from Butler. So I've worn many hats over the years, and that is something that I think serves me well. And we have a lot of folks that that have graduated from Butler that come back to work for us. So we're proud of that. I work with all students from most of Missouri, kind of except the very western part, as well as all of Nebraska and Oklahoma. So a little bit about us, which you can see on this slide, a bunch of different stats and profile. We're a private, non-religiously affiliated mid-sized university, and our student population is around 5,000 total students. The majority of which are undergraduate. Just over half our students come from out of state, with almost every state in the union, as well as 50 to 60 different countries represented, thanks in large part to our large and popular study abroad program options. And that is a very distinctive feature for us at Butler. So geographically, we have a very diverse student population, and I think that that benefits our students in the education that we provide very well. We're very intentional at Butler on focusing on the relationship building aspect of the student experience. Of course, we provide small class sizes, but that really what that does is provides opportunities to engage directly with your faculty from day one, as well as things like real world internships, research with faculty members, community engagement. All of those things are very important to us. And we know is what leads to a good outcome for students once they graduate. You can see also here that we maintain small class sizes and have a student faculty ratio of 12:1 with an average class size of 24. So for a school of our size, medium, I think that that's pretty impressive and something that we strive to kind of always keep in that range. So this means that as a student, you will be known by name and face and have plenty of opportunities for engagement with your professors, as I mentioned, both inside and outside the classroom. In case you haven't figured it out, we are located in Indianapolis, Indiana, which is a great city, 17th largest city in the US. We're about 5 miles from downtown Indy, as the crow flies, in a residential neighborhood, and we occupy about 450 land acres. So it's a great environment for our students, as we offer all the benefits of a college campus feel and experience, all while having a major metropolitan city about 10 minutes from our doorstep. And Indy is a very easy city to navigate and to get around. So that's something that is definitely a positive for our students. So next, I want to talk a little bit more in depth about Butler's academic offerings. As you can see on this slide, Butler's made up of 6 academic colleges that focus on communication, education, the liberal arts and sciences, the health sciences, including pharmacy and physician assistant, both full programs, the visual and performing arts, and business. Students will start taking courses in their major during their first year, in addition to taking courses in the core curriculum. So because of the flexibility, it's very easy for students to pick up a second major or a minor, which indeed many do, and also changing their major. A lot of students do that. We know that students come in and may not fully understand yet what they are interested in pursuing as a career, what all their options are. And so the way our curriculum is set up is very friendly towards students who have multiple different areas of interest. By the way, we also offer a terrific exploratory studies program for undecided students. So if you don't know what you want to do, which is in reality probably most incoming first-year students, we have a great program for that. About 40% or so of each year's incoming first-year class at Butler come in under our exploratory studies program. Students who are exploratory at Butler have no time, by and large, graduating on time in 4 years, and have plenty of opportunities to explore all of our different academic areas of interest and options. So it's a great program, especially if you are undecided or have many different areas of interest. So with all this, because of all the hands-on experiences and personal relationships developed, our students have significant success after graduation, as demonstrated by our 96% placement rate within 6 months after graduation. So next, I want to briefly discuss the student experience at Butler, which we know is a vitally important part of each student's overall success. We believe that it's important for students to be successful both in and outside the classroom, and they need to feel a part of the community and be engaged in many different ways. So we have a lot of different varied opportunities for involvement and connection, whatever your interests or passions are. We want the student experience to be rich with diverse experiences. And I can tell you from personal experience that I feel like that we offer that. I do encourage you to visit campus soon if you haven't already, to experience this for yourselves, because there's no better way for any of our campuses to kind of get a sense as if the environment is right for you. And then finally, just a quick word about our application process for those of you who are seniors. You can see here that our application is currently live for you to apply, and our first deadline is November 1, coming up pretty quickly, especially since we're almost to October. So keep an eye on that if you are a senior. And then these are the requirements for a completed application. So I'd encourage you to take note of these. If you head to butler.edu/apply, you can refresh yourself on all this information, including other tips and tricks. So I hope all this has been helpful. If you have any questions, I'll put my contact info in the chat, and thanks for your time. Go Dogs.
Thank you. And then last but by no means least, we will be hearing from Oklahoma State University.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Henry, and I'm an admissions counselor at Oklahoma State. I'm going to share my screen, as everyone else has. So like I said, my name is Jordan. Here is me. Here's my contact information. I am from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm also an OSU grad. So I love getting to talk more about my university and the school I love. So kind of some quick facts about OSU if you're not familiar. We are located in Stillwater, Oklahoma, which is a true college town. OSU is a large institution. At any point, we've got between 24 and 25,000 students on campus, but we do keep a 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And with Stillwater being a smaller town itself, we're able to keep a really great sort of small town, friendly, welcoming atmosphere on campus. We do have over 200 different majors and minor options to choose from. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we also have a 5-star honors curriculum within our honors college, which is something that we're very proud of. So a few other things that we like to mention. So like I said, Oklahoma State is located in Stillwater, Oklahoma, which is a college town, which makes it a really fun place to go to school. But we're also only about 60 miles from both Oklahoma City and from Tulsa, which are the two largest towns in Oklahoma. So though OSU is in that smaller college town, we are very close to two large cities. So it makes it really easy to get to and get to experience a lot of different things in Oklahoma. We've also got over 500 different student organizations on campus. So regardless of what you're interested in, there is certainly at least one, if not quite a few student organizations on campus that would fit your interest area. We also usually have about a quarter of our student population from out of state. And among that, all 50 states are represented, as well as over 100 countries, which is something else that we're very proud of. So like I mentioned, we do have over 200 different majors and minor options to choose from at OSU. Those are going to be across 5 academic colleges, which are all listed on this screen. Many people do know us for our engineering and agriculture programs, which are very strong at OSU. But we do have a lot of other really wonderful programs as well for really about any interest under the sun. So all of our majors are listed on our website. I would definitely encourage you all to check that out if you might be interested. And we do have what's called a My Majors quiz on our website as well, which is a great way to just start kind of exploring some different majors and see what might be a good fit for you. So all of our application components are listed on this slide. We are not on the Common App at OSU. We use our very own application because our application for admission also doubles as our scholarship application. So everything on this screen is what's required of our application, with the exception of your ACT or SAT score. As with every other college in this call, we are test optional for admission for this year. So if you'd like to submit a test score, you're welcome to, but you're not required to. There are a couple of different ways students can be admitted to OSU. Those are listed on this slide as well. One of those is called assured admission. If you meet one of those 3 bullet points, you're assured admission to OSU. If you do not, that's completely okay as well. We also admit students holistically through what we call our comprehensive review process. And as mentioned, we are test optional for admission as well, which would mean that we'd be looking pretty heavily at your high school transcript, as well as your application essays and what kind of things you were involved with during high school when we're making that admission decision. So we do have several different scholarships available for students as well. They kind of fall into 3 main types. So those are all listed on this page. We have some really wonderful assured scholarships that are going to be based off of either your GPA, and that's it, or a combination of your GPA and your ACT or SAT score. And if you meet the requirements for one of our assured scholarships, you will receive that scholarship. And in addition to those scholarships, we have some really great competitive scholarship options, as well as some partnered scholarships where we work with some outside sources to help award those scholarship dollars. So a few important dates to keep in mind before we wrap up. Our application opens each year on July 1st. So any seniors on the call, you all can apply at any point. Juniors, your application would open next summer on July 1st. Our first scholarship deadline is coming up on November 1st. That's a really important date we're talking a lot about right now. All that you need to do to meet a scholarship deadline is have all of those application materials submitted to our office by November 1st, and you would be in the first group of students considered for OSU scholarships. We do have a second scholarship deadline on February 1st as well. That's also when students can start sort of working through those next steps, such as housing and signing up for an orientation date. But definitely remember that first scholarship deadline on November 1st. So of course, we would love you all to come to visit us in Stillwater on campus. As has been said, one of the best ways to sort of picture yourself at a school and see if you can kind of see yourself be a student there is to come to campus for a tour. So we'd love to have you all down in Stillwater for a campus tour. We have a campus tour every weekday in the morning, a second tour in the afternoon on Fridays, and usually a campus tour about 1 Saturday per month as well. And we're also doing some virtual campus tours on Tuesdays. So you can sign up for these really easily on our website. So to wrap up, here's our office's contact information. Thank y'all so much for joining us today, and thank you for listening to everybody. Definitely feel free to reach out to our office anytime you all have questions, and we'll go ahead and wrap up with me.
Great, thank you so much. So I just want to say thank you to the panelists, and I just have a question that I want to ask our panelists to answer for you all. I'll just share my screen with the question. And that is, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admissions process? And we will start with Pacific University, Oregon.
Perfect. So I'm not sure if it's so much a myth, but one thing that can really help students is don't feel like you have to get everything to the college in your application on the exact same day in one folder. So don't wait for certain pieces for it to come in. We see it every year with the student who waits to apply because they're waiting for letter of rec, but the teacher didn't know the letter of rec was supposed to go in. So as soon as you finish part of that application, send it in. I can tell you all of us as counselors would rather have a piece and then email you and say, hey, we're still missing this, than to wait 3 weeks and wonder why you still haven't applied. So don't wait for it to all come in at one time.
All right, I think I'm next. My, I think myth that I would like to debunk is that we as admission representatives are scary. I think I can speak for all of us. We really want to support you and challenge you and celebrate you, advocate for you. We want to do all of those things. And we are better able to do that when you interact with us. So don't be afraid to email us, call us, text us, do the things. Don't be afraid, because we want to help you and we want to make this process not as scary. I know at SLU, we're always looking for reasons to say yes, and we're not searching for reasons to say no. We're really trying to find the good fit. So don't be afraid of us. We want to celebrate you.
Jump in, and I would just like to, a myth that I'd like to debunk is that an application is a contract. An application is seeking some more information about a school, similar, and this is probably a pretty poor analogy, but similar to buying a car. You want to test drive lots of different things before you really will select the place that you want to spend 4 years of your life. And oftentimes schools will send different communications to students who have applied, and you want to get that additional information that might be more focused on selection factors you might be looking for in a school, like financial aid or more information about your major. But an application, again, not a contract.
Yeah, I really like what Derek said. I have two nephews that are currently going through the college search process, and that what he said definitely rung true with them. Even the other day, one of them was very paralyzed by naviance and just got kind of stuck in the process and lost sight of the big picture. And so then that, I think, for a lot of students tends to lead towards procrastination, which then means you miss deadlines, and that's the worst case scenario. So as someone else said, we're all here to help you. Contrary to what some might think, yes, we're all advocates for our schools, but we are ultimately trying to help students find their best fit. And I don't believe any of us get commission. So that's something that we're passionate about, is helping make sure that we're doing what we can to make sure that the students that end up at Butler and any of our schools are confident it's the right choice.
Okay, I think I'm up. So I would certainly agree with everything that everyone else has said. And really the only thing that I would kind of add, in addition to everything else that's already been said here, is that you do not have to know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life right now, today. It is completely fine if you just don't have a clue. If you think you've got a few different things that you're interested in, that's okay as well. So whenever you apply to a school and you list that major on your application, that is not ironclad. You can change that at any point. Many schools will also let you apply and start at their school as an undeclared student. So if you're not entirely sure what you want to major in or what you want to do with the rest of your life, you've got plenty of time to figure it out, and you can certainly change your major down the road if you need to. I actually had 3 different majors when I was in college, but I did still manage to graduate in 4 years. Thank goodness for summer classes. So y'all can definitely change your mind later on if you need to.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for the insight, and all very true. So with that, I just want to say thank you again for joining us. I'm going to wrap things up here for you all. When you close out of this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you can provide. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as other sessions that have happened this afternoon at strivescannon.com/GPACAC. So again, thank you so much for joining, and have a fantastic evening, and good luck. Bye, everyone.